Mavs fans, welcome into NBA Now from Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jimmy Crowther, and look, preseason's coming up. Training camp is like a week away, and since we're so close, I want to answer some of your questions about the Dallas Mavericks. So today, we're doing a Dallas Mavericks mailbag. A lot of you guys tweeted me questions on my Mavs account at all_things_Mavs, and I'm going to answer a few of them that I found pretty interesting right now. Starting out with Jack Britton's question. Jack asks, Luka and Porzingis, will they be able to average 50 points per game together next season? Are you taking the over? Are you taking the under? Now, before I give you my answer, let's compare these two side by side and what they've done in their young careers. Now, Porzingis, of course, coming over from the New York Knicks in, near the trade deadline last year. He's finally going to be healthy. He's finally going to be ready to play on night one. He will be 100% when we see him after training camp, the preseason, and the end of the regular season. When he was healthy, 22.7 points per game, 6.6 boards, 39.5% from three, and 2.4 blocks. Those numbers are the reason he was an all-star that year with the New York Knicks before tearing that ACL. And then, of course, you have Luka Doncic, the rookie of the year. Just came out. ESPN ranked him as the 16th best player for next season. Last year, the reason he won Rookie of the Year, 21.2 points per game, 7.8 boards, 6 assists, 33% from three. I expect that to go up. And then block shots, not really Luka's forte by any means. So if you have been watching Chat Sports for a while, you know that I already did a stat prediction for both of these guys. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you guys again so we can answer this question. 50 points per game. Is it possible for these two to combine for? Now, Luka, here's what I've got. I think he takes a little step forward in just about every single category except the rebounds. And the reason he doesn't go up in rebounds is because the Mavs added Porzingis. So they don't need Luka to be rebounding 7.8 or 8 rebounds per game anymore. So I've got him at 24.3 points, 6.5 boards, 7.2 assists. Now that number, it's going to go up. I could even see it going up into the double digits at some point next year as an average because look, he's playing with Porzingis, by far the best player he's ever played with. The twilight of Dirk's career was not the best player Luka's ever played with. And then three-point percentage, I've got him at 35%. I think he'll be more efficient than he was last season. So that means now we got to look at Porzingis because Luka at 24.3, that means Porzingis is going to have to average a lot. I've got him at 25.2 points per game, 7.2 boards, 2 blocks, and 40% from three. Now, one of the reasons Porzingis' numbers are going to go up, you're going to see the points per game go up. You're going to see the rebounds go up. You're going to see the three-point percentage even take a little jump because he's playing with a guy in Luka Doncic who can actually get him the ball and get him open looks. You take a look back at the guys who have led Porzingis in assists per game that he has played with, and it's not a pretty group. Jarrett Jack is the only player to average 5+ assists per game while Porzingis has been in New York. Brandon Jennings, Trey Burke, Derrick Rose. None of these guys are pass first point guards. And then, of course, Carmelo Anthony. By far, not even close to a pass first type player. So Porzingis gets to go in with Luka, and that means the points per game goes up. He gets more open looks. But if you did the math in your head, I'm just like 0.5 points off from 50 points per game. I've got him at 49.5 because Porzingis at 25.2, Luka at 24.3, so I'm taking the under, Jack. I don't think they'll get exactly to 50 points per game as an average, but it also wouldn't surprise me. I'm not putting it out of the realm of possibility, so I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think? Over or under 50 points per game for Luka and Porzingis combined next year? Type O for over, type U for under, and then hey, if you want to give me your predictions for their points per game, let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to be safe here. If I were a betting man, I would take the under on this one. Just by a smidge, though. Not by much. Let's get into our next question. This one comes from Mavstradamus. I love the name. He says, excluding the new players, which player on this Mavs roster do you expect to have the biggest improvement from last season? So before I can answer that question, let's focus on the new players, the guys that Mavstradamus doesn't want us to include here. Delon Wright, Seth Curry, and Boban Marjanovic. All of those guys obviously coming in from free agency. Delon Wright, a sign and trade. You also got guys like Isaiah Roby. I'm not really counting him as a, quote, new addition because he is a rookie. He also can't be the most improved player because he hasn't played a minute yet. But I would have said Delon Wright. I do believe Delon Wright will be the most improved player on this team from his year last season. But we can't include the new guys, so let's look at who I think could be in the running for the most improved Maverick. I've got Jalen Brunson, of course, rookie point guard out of Villanova, coming into his second year at 9.3 points per game. Justin Jackson coming over from the Sacramento Kings. This will be his first full year in a Dallas Maverick uniform. Dorian Finney-Smith got re-signed this summer. He should have a bigger role this year. Maxi Kleber, another guy. He's going to be the primary backup big. I think there's a lot of potential for him to show a lot of improvement. And then Dwight Powell at 10.6 points per game. He's going to be the starting center on night one next to Porzingis. I truly believe that. Now, if you asked me at the start of the offseason, I would have said Jalen Brunson because I kind of thought, we weren't going to get this main point guard. Brunson's going to be starting. Maybe he could be the most improved player, but now they get Delon Wright. That pushes Brunson back into his backup point guard role, which is great. I think he's going to thrive in that. But if we're talking most improved player, I'm going Justin Jackson. They got him in the trade, the salary dump that sent Barnes to the Kings. Justin Jackson and Zach Randolph actually came to Dallas. Randolph was here for like less than half a second, and then he got cut. But I'm going with Justin Jackson because he's going to have a huge role. He's going to have open looks. He's going to be able to knock down threes. He apparently put on 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason. And if you can do that as a wing in the NBA, you're going to be in pretty good shape against the other wings. So let's compare side by side. Sacramento version of Justin Jackson to Dallas Maverick version of Justin Jackson. There's only a little bit of room to compare this because he hasn't spent a lot of time in Dallas. But in his limited time, you already saw the numbers kind of take a jump. His points per game and his three-point percentage, those are the two most important factors for Justin Jackson if he wants to stay on the floor next year, is can he score the ball from the three-point arc and can he defend other wings? I think he'll be able to do both at a very high rate for this Maverick team because 37% from three, if he does that all of next year, he's automatically the most improved Maverick because that would be a jump from 32% with the Kings up to a consistent 37% with the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going Justin Jackson, but I truly do believe any of those guys earlier that I mentioned could be in the running for that, Jalen Brunson being the main one. But we'll see. That's my opinion. I want your opinion. Who do you think will be the most improved Maverick? So don't include the new guys because I would have said Delon Wright. So don't include Delon Wright, don't include Seth Curry, Boban, none of them. It's only between the current Mavericks. Tim Hardaway Jr. could be in there, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dwight Powell, Maxi Kleber, whoever you want, put it down there in the comment section below. Let's move on to one more question from you guys, from the fans, from all of our loyal watchers here at Chat Sports. This one coming from Mavs Draft on Twitter, at Mavs Draft. Go give him a follow, by the way. He's got a lot of good stuff about potential draft targets for the Dallas Mavericks. He asks me, what's your take on who starts at small forward? A good question, a question that I think a lot of people are asking because we don't know who the fifth starter is. In fact, a lot of the questions I got was, who's the fifth starter? And this one kind of sums it up because I do think that fifth starting spot will go to a small forward / a wing. So who are the guys in the running? I think it's Justin Jackson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Tim Hardaway Jr. Now, I get it. Tim Hardaway Jr. is more of a two guard, but for this purpose, we're going to call him a small forward, even though Luka would probably shift over into that small forward role. Now, you look at the numbers, and you would say, hey, Tim Hardaway Jr. at 18 points per game. Jimmy, why is he not starting? He doesn't do the things the Mavericks need a small forward to do in a starting five. He can get the points per game. I get that. I think he could be great in a 6th, 7th man role for this team if he can become more efficient. We don't need him starting because he can't defend at a high level. Dorian Finney-Smith, the second highest points per game, not by much, but by a little, and he's probably the best rebounder and defender among this group. However, at 31% from three, I don't trust that. I don't trust that in my starting lineup. So we'll talk more about both those guys. I like Tim Hardaway Jr. Again, I go back to this idea of if he's coming off the bench and he's not so efficient, and he's more efficient than he was last year, he could be a solid role player. Dorian Finney-Smith, again, the best rebounder, the best defender of this group, not a great three-point shooter. However, like when you look at the assists, the stat line, 7.5 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, 1.2 assists, and there it is, 31.1% from three. That's what's going to keep him off this starting five, in my opinion. I just don't see him as a consistent starter. However, I do see Justin Jackson as a regular starter for this Dallas Maverick team. I've got him in the starting five right now. Delon Wright, Luka Doncic, Justin Jackson, Porzingis, and Dwight Powell. And the reason I'm going with Justin Jackson on this one is because he does enough on the defensive end and enough on the offensive end at the same time that it balances out and it makes him a good starter for this Dallas Maverick team. So I'll go Justin Jackson starts. I could see either Tim Hardaway Jr. or Dorian Finney-Smith starting as well, but Justin Jackson is my pick. Who's your pick? Who should start at small forward for the Dallas Mavericks next season? Maybe it changes. I don't think it'll be the same every single night, but night one, who should be the small forward starter in Dallas? Let me know, guys. And also make sure you're tweeting at me at all_things_Mavs. Make sure you are subscribed to youtube.com/chatsportstv.